Okay, we're going to get started. I'd like to welcome everyone to a regular Monroe Town Board meeting for August 10th, 2021, here at Monroe Town Hall, and ask the clerk to please call the roll.
Councilmember Hogan.
Here.
Councilmember Noonan.
Here.
Councilmember Donahue.
Here.
Supervisor Kuzniers.
Here. And also ask that everyone please rise for a pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. First item on this evening's agenda is the customary approval of minutes. We have two sets, both from July 27, 2021. The first one is our audit meeting, and the second is the regular town board meeting. All the same board members were present for both meetings. Does anybody have any changes, corrections on those? No. If not, I'd entertain a motion to approve, we'll take them together, both sets of meetings for that day. So moved. Second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? And I will be abstaining from that vote as I was not in attendance. Item 2 on the agenda, set future meetings and workshops. I don't have a need for one. Does anyone else? No. Item 3, just want to provide, unfortunately, here COVID is back in the news, and want to provide an update to our residents. Last Friday, Saratoga County issued a public health advisory on COVID-19 transmission here in our county. And I just want to provide an update on what that means. Currently, Saratoga County is experiencing community transmission that is fueled by the highly contagious Delta variant. Our County Public Health Services has recommended that at this time, all individuals fully vaccinated, partially vaccinated, unvaccinated wear a mask when indoors with people who are not members of their own household, outdoors in crowded settings, and when engaging in activities that involve close contact with others who are not fully vaccinated. Our public health department also recommends vaccination for those who are eligible and testing for those with signs or symptoms of the COVID-19 disease. And for those who have been exposed to a person infected with the virus, regardless of whether they are experiencing signs or symptoms or have been fully vaccinated, and other preventative measures that protect themselves and others. Some of the numbers that may be of interest: over the past 7 days, there have been 240 cases that have been reported to the CDC, and in Saratoga County, that works out to 104.41 per 100,000 population. So that has triggered our percent positivity rate of 4.46%. Since June 6th of this year, approximately 40% of reported cases in the county have been identified in individuals between the ages of 18 and 39. And an additional 10% of reported cases have occurred among those ages 6 to 11. While hospitalizations during this time have not increased to levels observed during the January 2021 pandemic, approximately 89% of hospitalized individuals were not fully vaccinated. To date, 0.007% of fully vaccinated individuals in the county have been hospitalized due to the COVID disease. Similarly, 169 COVID-related deaths have been reported to Saratoga County Public Health, and 99.4% occurred in individuals who are not fully vaccinated. So the takeaway there is, if you truly want to protect yourself, your loved ones, the people you come in contact with, if you're not yet vaccinated, you should certainly do so. I can tell you that in talking with Commissioner Cools, and actually having a press conference at 1 p.m. tomorrow at Saratoga County, provide an update at the county for our residents. Individuals ages 60 on up in the county, were 91% of them completely vaccinated.
Right.
And that's that's a testament to the good work that the public health department is doing under the leadership of Dr. Dan Cools. We are the only county in New York State that has an epidemiologist as our commissioner of public health. So we're very fortunate for that. And yeah, just and a little bit more on the numbers. Over 7 days in Saratoga County, positive test numbers over the past 7 days have been 290. That means our 7-day average rolling percent positivity is 4.6%. We currently have 11 individuals that are hospitalized. In the town of Monroe, there have been 15 reported cases as of yesterday, and in the village of South Glens Falls, that number is currently at 4. So lots going on. Saratoga County continues to be at the forefront in making sure that anyone who wants to receive a vaccine has the ability to receive it. As a matter of fact, tomorrow, August 11th, our public health department will be holding free community COVID vaccination clinics at the Saratoga Regional YMCA Malta branch, which is located at 10 Medical Park Drive, Boston Spa, from 10 to noon. Following day, August 12th, it'll be at Stewart's, 504 Route 9P in Saratoga Springs. That will be the Johnson & Johnson vaccine, as was the one that's going to be offered tomorrow. Friday, August 13th, there will also be a vaccination clinic at the Saratoga County Public Safety Building, which is located at 6012 County Farm Road in Boston Spa, and that will be available from 9:30 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. Also on Friday, at the same location, again in the afternoon from 1:30 to 3:30, the Pfizer vaccine will be available for anybody who would like to receive a vaccination. So again, I can't stress enough how important for anyone who has concerns about the Delta variant to make sure that they get vaccinated if they have not already done so. So that's the COVID-19 update. Item 4 on the agenda is the Community Coalition for Family Wellness. I know Council Member John Hogan has been working with the rec department on that. Would you like to?
We have ready to go with the presentation.
All right.
Wanted to do a Halloween event at the park. Basically a trunk or treat type situation with maybe some other activities for kids. But I reached out to Pete, said they ever come in and talk to us. So if you'd like to introduce yourself.
Okay.
Sure, yeah.
My name is Amber Danaher. I work at the Prevention Council in Saratoga County, and I'm also lead staff on the coalition. So we grant work, so it's steps. I just what I did was just to give you guys a verification of what the event is. Would you all like a copy of this?
Sure.
And then just for coalition, the bigger square and the top part is my card. If you have any questions, email or call. I'll just kind of summarize what we are looking to do.
Thank you.
The second pages are like last year. There's some photos and kind of a brief summary. Welcome. So I don't know if everybody's aware of what a trunk or treat is.
Sure.
I'm vaccinated, but I'm cautious. So trunk or treat is basically like a trick or treating event, but with trunk to trunk instead of just. Oh, I'm not sure.
The only reason I ask is because we're zooming the meeting,
Oh, that's
and I
okay.
know you cannot hear it.
Okay, can you hear me or no? In this?
Yeah, we can. If it's on, it'll get picked up on.
If you hit green light on your microphone, if you hit that button.
There you go. All right.
Rain is down. Sorry about that.
Sorry.
So a trunk or treat is basically they're going to the cars will top their trunk, we'll decorate them as like a Halloween house. And then the kids go from trunk to trunk, getting candy normally, but with us, we are a drug-free coalition. We do alcohol and substance abuse prevention for youth. So for us, we try to gather all resources in the community, such as our members, to bring resources to the community as to what's available to them. So they'll get candy, kind of throw that in as a bonus, but also resources, letting them know what businesses are available, maybe nonprofits or agencies that might have services that would be available. We are specifically in South Glens Falls School District. So we really try to get the resources within the community so that everybody kind of knows what's available, how to go about it, and get information. So that's really our the reason why we do it. The reason we're looking at Neuro Rec is because the last year we held it at Pine Knolls, and due to the pandemic, we did a drive-through trunk or treat, and the event was very busy because of the pandemic. We had about 1,000 people show up, and the traffic got backed up on the road, and we did have people directing, officers directing traffic. It became a space that wasn't spread out enough, and I grew up playing sports in Rural Rec, and I said, Rural Rec is a great community place for something like this. So that was me reaching out, and then I had spoken with Pete, and he actually has experience in this type of thing, so that was a bonus for me. But yeah, so we're just looking to do the event and gain permission of the community and the board to have this event there. We're looking to have about 100 trunks. It's an estimate. We haven't reached out to anybody yet for approval. And then we'll have one pass in, one pass out, so it won't gain traffic on the road. And all the details are here, the things we're looking to do. Last year we just did a trunk or treat because we couldn't have anybody walking around. And this year we're planning to have the kids walk around, but it may be drive-through in October. We're unsure of that, but we have flexibility with that to move it around. We're just planning to, there was a need, someone was talking about having our first responders and vehicles with like a corral to introduce our first responders and not have them be, you know, sometimes they're portrayed as an enemy, and you want the kids and the families in the community to know, like, hey, these are your first responders in your community. Maybe you can tour their truck or something like that. So little things like that. We would also like to have food trucks. That was a question. And then just to bring people in, there was one thing, the National Guard has a obstacle course, and I know it says no blow up things in the park, so we were just wondering if that was something that we could do. It's just National Guard, it's not like a bouncy house facility, you know, all that, that's too much room. Face painting, pumpkin decorating, crafting, things like that, just okay, we're looking to do like a Halloween movie and a Hanukkah ride trail.
Is
I
that,
think I've included it all.
and so that is, yeah, I have received correspondence from Jennifer Rich. That's the same, right?
It is similarly, what, yes,
Oh,
it's
it's
the
separate.
same event, it's the same event.
Oh, it is, okay.
Yeah, so the Community Coalition for Family Wellness is, the community center is a member, the park is a member, like everybody are members of our coalition. So we're looking to partner with the park and do it as like a paired event, so that everybody knows the park is where we do this event, and this is the community thing. Just kind of my direction I was going in.
So do you have a weekend picked out?
Yes, October 23rd is the day that we're looking to do with a rain date of October 24th. That may have been useful information.
Not a problem. And, well, first of all, in general, the idea sounds like a fantastic idea. I do have, and this is more for town's attorney, we may have to look at like the food trucks coming in. How, does the town have any exposure on that?
Right, you would have to just see what their licensing is and their insurance, as well as see if the coalition had insurance to provide to the town as additional.
Yep.
So,
So it's through the prevention council.
Okay,
Yep, and the community center has insurance they've offered to use as well, because we work with them. Eventually our coalition will turn into a, it'll be sustained eventually by the community center and the school. in partnership, so our grant funding does expire at some point, so at that point, we look for sustainability for community members to kind of just keep on the messaging.
No, I think it's a great idea. I think obviously, the rest of the board is willing to move forward with it. One of the things we'll have to do, excuse me, is reach out to the town's insurance carrier, make sure all the bases are covered.
Which I did call the neighbors.
Oh, you did, okay.
And kind of presented this whole situation to them. First thing, they said, you know, this is like an entity coming in and renting the park, they would do a permit, and they would be required to have insurance, holding the town, as an insured party. I absolutely no blow-up instruments. I asked about the climbing wall, National Guard, obstacle course, and essentially what he said was, it sounded okay as long as you had proper insurance coverage.
Yes.
And that he would be happy to look over the policy to make sure that.
Yeah, absolutely. I think in the park policy, it says no inflatables. That's why we were questioning, and it's, you know, it's not a big deal, it's not like we're setting up a like inflatable park, but we did do a team driver event, in the past, and they had the obstacle course, it's a blow-up obstacle course, so that's why, and then it's a rock wall that I don't know, I haven't seen that yet, so.
Okay, well, so what he said was no inflatables.
Okay,
So I'm
So
assuming
that
that
would
it's a
be-
blow-up obstacle course, it probably is
Okay.
going to go over well.
right, that's fine.
Okay, but everything else, you know, the other activities all look good.
Okay, sounds good. And for the food truck approval, how do we go about doing something like that?
We just need a copy of their permits that they have.
Okay.
And what those permits are.
Exactly. They actually hold, usually there's DOH permits that are issued for them to be able to serve food.
Okay, and they don't need anything further like through the town or anything like that?
They usually have health insurance as well.
Okay, great. Cool, so they're okay to come.
Yeah, I mean, and we don't, we're gonna need a resolution on that. And the rec committee can work with, a rec leader for location of where.
Sure.
It's gonna be safe.
I put most of that in the details.
Oh, you did, okay.
Yeah, I already met with Pete to kind of get a layout of the land to see what we were looking at, and the bottom paragraph kind of. Apologize, I took this up today.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so where it says plans, it just says the approximate 100 trunks, and then we would set the trunks up in the lot next to the pavilion too, that big parking lot there. And they would be nose to nose, so the trunks would be accessible. And then we would have parking behind that in the gravel lot in front of the bowl, I don't know all the terms there yet.
All better class.
Yeah, the class, that's the term over there. Yeah, so we're looking at that, and we've already gained permission from Christine or the superintendent to use the Monroe's elementary parking lot for backup for parking, so.
Now, I think you said, traffic is gonna be one way in and out.
Yes, yeah.
How's that gonna be enforced? Because right now it's two-way at both ends.
Yeah, so we're gonna have someone directing traffic and parking cars. Our hope is to get a ton of volunteers, so if you know anybody, send them my way. It's a big event, and even without having it that big, it was big last year. So our goal is to have them come in on Route 32 and exit on Jan Ave and have, you know, a steady flow, and they can park within, or if we decide to, if it moves to a drive-through, then they'll be able to drive through and out, so. My brain is gonna work perfect.
Only one thought I had, being, still October, the field might be playable. I'm sure he has it on his calendar.
The softball tournament.
Yeah, so we, you know, I think plans need to be fluid for a while until we can, like with the traffic piece, if we have a softball tournament coming in. It might be difficult to tell people they can't go down Jan Avenue or.
Oh, yeah, so that's our goal.
Yeah.
That's our
Yeah, right.
plan, if it ends up being both ends, that's fine, we're just trying to keep it safe for the kids if they're walking through.
Right.
To know that cars are going in this way and out that way,
I think
just
it's
kind of
great.
know for families. But I think, I had talked with Pete, and he said the tournament was I think around 3, our event, we pushed it back to 4. So I don't know if I wrote times on here, but we were
I didn't see that.
4 to 9 p.m. Because we're trying to show also a movie cast of those. And then, you know, and the haunted hayride is something that's okay with everybody as well. See,
Yeah.
All right, I think everybody's on board with that.
Awesome.
And, you know, if you have any questions along the way, obviously, the first person to interact with directly. And if there's issues that go beyond that level, the board will be happy to work with you on that.
I appreciate you.
All right, all right, thank you.
Thank you.
Nice to meet you.
Item 5 on this evening's agenda, I have listed as Lewis and Greer. We have had in the past a retainer agreement with Lewis and Greer, who are currently our special counsel, our hydro tax tertiary cases. And we have used them in the past to assist us when there was a conflict of interest with the current attorneys for the town. And we do have an instance where that has happened again with one of our property owners. And so I'm recommending that the town board authorize the supervisor to sign the retainer agreement so that we may be represented in the case of Bluebird Village LLC versus the town of Monroe. And I think all the board members, yes, all the board members have been provided with a copy of the retainer agreement. Essentially, the agreement states that town will retain Lewis and Greer PC attorneys and counselors at law for representation in connection with the following matter, which is special counsel of the town of Monroe for real property tax, law matters, and litigation. The attorney fees for the services rendered to be paid at a rate of $195 per hour plus cost and disbursement. The client understands that disputes with respect to legal fees may be subject to arbitration with the client's consent pursuant to Part 137 of the rules of the Chief Administrative Reports, 22 YCRR Section 137. And the client hereby acknowledges receipt of Lewis and Greer statement concerning billing practices annexed here too, and accepts the terms and conditions set forth therein. This is a legally binding contract. I don't know if the town board has any questions on that. Yeah, so this was in place going back to 2014. Yeah.
That's it.
So I've got the, so that's.
All words are exactly the same.
Yeah, everything's identical. The price went up $10 over that 7 years, so $10 per hour. So my recommendation would be to authorize the supervisor to sign the retainer agreement. And I'd like to do that. So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Yes. Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Water district, water department, got items here. First is in relation to water consolidation. I believe all board members have been copied on email from the town clerk, and it's in relation to working with the town's engineer and water district in relation to water consolidation, which if we continue on track, would take place on January 1, 2022. And that's going to require a change in arrangements with our building company and the program that we use. And I'll open it up to the town clerk just to provide a little more detail on that, since this is something that you've been working with my office on and authored the
Sure. Our current software vendor that we used, Edmunds BAS, they're no longer going to support the program that we have after the first of the year. They have a new program that they've rolled out, And if we decide to stay with their company, they will support our program as long as it takes in order to get the new program up and running. If we decide to go with a different vendor altogether, then our program would basically cease as of the first of the year. We would have no support for it. So we have some huge things coming up. After conversations with Don Rhodes, we are going to have everything all up and ready by the first of the year. So we just need direction where the town wants to go. I mean, can we pretty much say to Edmonds BAS, we're going to stay with you. However, we're not going to be able to buy their new program this year because it wasn't budgeted for. But at least that way we'll know where we stand with everything going forward.
I think, I know Tammy's been working with your office on that. Didn't she get more information as far as costs?
Yes,
Recommendation of which direction to go.
yes, our recommendation is to stay with Edmonds BAS because their cost was minimal. It was $8,000 to transfer all the data and go with their new program. The other company that we looked into that the town of Queensbury uses, I think I had it in my informational packet, but I think it was about $66,000. So there's no doubt that we would just stay with who we have. We investigated their new program. They gave us a little bit of a demo and everything, and it's very similar to the other program from Queensbury. I didn't see any great difference, that it should cost that much more.
Does that require any town board action or just one direction?
I wanted direction at this point to be able to tell Edmonds that, yes, we're going to stay with them. Then obviously after the first of the year, before that, we would budget for it. I'm gonna, prepare all that information for budget for all of you folks. And then after the first of the year, we would need town board approval to actually purchase that new program.
Okay.
But so for right now, I mean, I'm just looking for the board to say, yes, let's stay with Edmonds so that we can kind of get the ball rolling with those folks.
I'm okay with that.
Yes, it's
absolutely. All right, so, so I guess I don't know whether it's shared with my office for budget or, I don't know how that works because I know we were moving that around.
Yeah,
We'll just have to make sure that as we go through the budget process, one of the offices has an account.
yeah, absolutely. I'm gonna work with Jeffrey on that so that
Okay.
he's aware because it really should come out of water sewer and not town clerk or anything else. So,
Okay,
right, so we'll make sure that he has everything that he needs.
okay, great, thank you. And the next item I have also under water department is town board received correspondence from the water superintendent dated August 9, 2021. This says to Supervisor Kuznius and the town board. This is to inform you that I'm going to retire. My last day at work will be September 29, 2021. Thank you. Signed, Jesse A. Fish, Water and Sewer Superintendent. We'll have to begin moving to restaff, fill that position as we move ahead. And I do have, I think board members have been copied with some earned time off that they would like to take next month or so. Item 7, I have one request from the highway superintendency.
I don't know, but do we need a resolution to accept his resignation?
No, because it's retirement.
Or retirement?
Yeah,
Okay,
they're retiring whether we approve it or not.
okay.
Right, Councilman.
That's true.
This is good, everybody coming in. See,
Okay. So we just have one request, and it's to purchase diesel fuel. He's looking to open a PO amount of $20,000 from the vendor who is under state contract number PC 68214. Vendor Sprague Operating Resources at 185 International Drive, Portsmouth, New Hampshire. And this would come from account DB 5142. I think that's supposed to be a decimal 460, not 0460. Currently, the balance as of August 3rd in that account is $39,386.65. And we had budgeted for the 2021 fiscal year $65,000.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries unanimously.
So I'm not gonna interrupt, because the reason I couldn't help him with that, because I never set me up as a photo, so I don't know if you want me to take a second to do that.
Sorry about that. I'll stand at ease.
Notice it's a little different. So Paul is on if you want him. So let me just do this real quick. Okay. He is on.
Or in the part of the portion. Number 8 on the agenda is zoning administrator. I put this on here. I didn't know if the board want to take it up this evening. We can talk about it. It's actually a contract, so if the board would prefer to talk about an executive session, we can do that. But this is for Jim Martin, who does our planning and zoning work. His contract expired on July 31st. And I don't know if the board had an opportunity to take a look at it, and if you would like to have more detailed discussion in executive session, or whatever your pleasure is, we can table it till then.
I think we should wait till then.
All right, so we will table that until executive session.
Tech is here.
Okay. This is
Yeah. Yep, I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. Do you want us to continue? Or?
Yeah, sure, go ahead, continue.
We do have a request in relation to deputy town clerk, which I'd like to table for the moment, because I expect that will entail an executive session. I also have a highway clerk listed on the agenda, which I'd like to table until we have an executive session later today on that. And so at this time, we'll go through supervisor items. First item I have, I'd like to report that we just got the mortgage recording tax receipts for the town of Monroe for the period of June 1st through June 30th. And very pleased to report that town will be receiving $65,463.50. And that's very good news, because if you compare it to last year, that amount was $44,649.50. So nice increase there. It's reflective of number of homes that are being purchased in the town of Monroe. So our community, I think, continues to be a place where people want to come live and raise their families. So that's fantastic. I have correspondence from the Saratoga County Soil and Water Conservation District in relation to the upcoming tire recycling program. If the board recalls, we had the first one here in the town of Monroe, which was very successful. Same programs being offered in another municipality, which is let's see here. Yeah, it's Malta Town Hall. It's going to be run just like the one that was run here in town of Monroe. It's open to all Saratoga County residents, but you do have to fill out, we can put it on the website. You do have to fill up a registration form. And the cost, this is for ag tires, and You can have agricultural tires up to 3 feet at $100 each, and agricultural tires from 3 feet to 6 feet, I believe that's diameter, for $150 each. The collection will take place on Wednesday, October 20th through Friday, October 22nd, and you must set an appointment to participate. So we'll have that information on our website. We'll also be able to, regular vehicle tires, no larger than 6 foot diameter and 24-inch width. Maximum is 4 tires per individual. So we'll have that information available, so what's taking advantage of that.
Along the same lines, I just interject something. Is the county ever going to maybe do something as far as like disposing of fluorescent bulbs, paint, solvents? I've had quite a few people ask me about that, where do they make those things? You know, and I don't have an answer for them. I know you mentioned one time they did years ago, but I didn't know if they had any interest recently about doing something like that to try to have somewhere, because those things know where they end up on the side of the road somewhere, so.
Yeah, so there's no plan at this time this year to do it. And I think the reason behind that, and they put the budget together last year, is that there were some larger Saratoga County towns that were offering it. It's a very expensive program.
I'm sure.
And the thought process by those in charge at the time was that, well, there's an opportunity if people want to travel to some of our towns.
Maybe
So
there's something to look into it at the county level and get something going. I get that question all the time, right? Side of the road, yeah, that's what they.
That's your answer?
Transfer station.
next item I have is the municipal shelter inspection report was completed on July 23rd. This is something that the Department of Agriculture and Markets does periodically for these facilities, and the shelter is located at 6010 County Farm Road in Boston Spa, and the county received a satisfactory report in all categories once again, so very good news. Some of the things that I'll just pick out a couple of things they look at is the shelter structurally sound, dogs handled safely, is ventilation adequate, drainage is adequate, temperature extremes are avoided, veterinary care is provided when necessary, and redeemed dogs are licensed for the release. So it's actually a 19-point system check program that they evaluate. So everything's being run appropriate there. I received correspondence from New York State DOT in relation to the upcoming start of construction at the I-87 interchange at exit 17. It's very brief. It says, good morning. The attached letter regarding the upcoming start of construction on bridge replacement and interchange reconfiguration at I-87 at interchange 17 is being provided to you on behalf of the project engineer in charge, which I believe is Chauvin Watkins. For your convenience, we are also sending out hard copies of the letter via US mail, and I can put that letter up on our website. Essentially what's going to happen is the project's going to begin the week of August 16th. And this is a reminder that the core ends of this project are to replace the 103-foot wide bridge carrying Route 9 over I-87, also known as Ad-Rock Northway, with a 55-foot wide bridge, and realign the 4 ramps on the northwest and southeast quadrants of the interchange so as to create 2 T intersections. During the first phase of construction, they will be constructing ramps, reconstructing ramps and northway acceleration, deceleration lanes. While this work takes place, there will be no changes to existing traffic patterns or lane availability on Route 9, just single right lane closures on the northway. We expect the entire project will take the remainder of 2021 construction season plus all of 2022. And they will keep my office apprised of the progress and any particular changes in traffic control strategies in the area. So lots going on Route 9. We've got sewer going in right now. So it's good to see infrastructure, the money for infrastructure being allocated here in town of Rome. I received a call earlier in the week from Mayor Bobkin in relation to Beach Road, which services the beach that the town of Monroe operates in the village of South Glens Falls. After the heavy rains that we received a couple weeks ago, they had some engineering studies done on, it's a pretty steep road going down to the beach. And basically the engineers came back with a strong recommendation that the road not be used for vehicle traffic until a repair is mapped out and put in place. And I actually walked down with their DPW superintendent, and we took a look at it. And it's extremely steep coming off the shoulder of that road. If you look underneath, it's almost vertical. And the erosion, and according to village staff, the weakness in the soils is a liability for the village. And so the recommendation, actually they told me it wasn't a recommendation. They told me that the village was going to close that road that day and close the business. So the road is now closed to vehicle traffic going to our beach, but they have established parking areas at the top of the hill, so pedestrian traffic can walk down to the beach. Along those lines, I know our committee was going to bring it up under committee reports. We have all of our lifeguards that work at the beach are college students, and they will be returning to school by August 22nd.
That's my understanding. So they're done on the 21st.
Yeah, so we, and then anyone who's been following the news around New York State, it's essentially impossible to find certified lifeguard. We had difficulty this year. We were very fortunate that we had enough to open the beach. And I know that the probability of being able to replace the loss in staffing probably will not be able to occur in a timely fashion before the end of the beach season. So I think the recommendation is that once the lifeguards are gone, that we close the beach for the year.
Correct. That's the recommendation.
So,
Very much choice.
no, well, that's just it. Not a lot of choice on that. So I wanted to make everybody aware of that. Also correspondence from New York State Department of Agriculture and Markets. I received a copy of a letter from Saratoga Plan. I was CC'd on as supervisor where New York State has awarded the Barber Brothers Dairy Farm, which is in Saratoga County, $22,589 to purchase the development rights permanently and protect that farmland. In my role, I think I did it as chairman of the board of supervisors. I wrote a letter of support on behalf of Saratoga County for that selection, and they were in fact selected. This is a program that I think they've handed out about $62 million over the past several years. I know back in 2018, the state allocated $135 million for the program, showing that it is a priority for New York State to preserve farmland here across the state. And it's fantastic that Farming Saratoga County is able to take advantage of the program. So that's good news. I have correspondence from New York State Department of Taxation and Finance. This is in relation to the certificate of final telecommunications ceiling, which the tax department determines annually, where they set the maximum taxable assessed value of private mass telecommunication property in municipalities. And I'm not gonna read through all the different utilities that are highlighted, I can tell you that the total ceiling is $888,957,000. This is a certificate of final telecommunications ceiling. One last item, I just want to update everyone on sewer. Our sewer contractor, Newcastle Paving, is moving at a rapid pace. And according to the engineering plans, their goal is to have the sewer in place on Route 9, the pump station there, and the force main operational by the end of this year, so that we can bring on commercial customers before 2022. Now, contract language says they have until, I think, June 2022 to get that part of the project done. They're on an aggressive pace right now, and that's fantastic news for us. So I have, I think, the supervisor items, committee reports. I do have a couple items there. I don't know if the transfer station wants to report, but I received a notice that the loader is leaking fluid badly. I'm not sure what that means. I didn't get a chance to look at it today.
I was there today.
You know,
It's the hydraulic pistons are shot.
so that you can grease it.
So
So,
there's a lot more issues with
There
that.
are a lot more, so I have them all written down. We got to really seriously look soon, see what we're gonna do down there.
Well,
We gotta put money into this thing, or we gotta look ahead and try to maybe, do what we did before, we went to the highway department, get that to the transfer station, because the cab itself is rusting out. The rims are cracked, all the tires are bowed. The step going up is a makeshift step that I'm just afraid someone's gonna put it on. I think if we correct everything, we put an awful lot of money into, into a piece of equipment that's not really, we put a lot of money into. So I just think we gotta start thinking about what we're gonna do now. And now the Pistons, I mean, so it seems like every weekend we're out, like we're showing something different. I think we really have to be serious about what we're gonna do over.
I had spoken with my kids about.
Yeah, this is-
And asked for it to look at costs
okay.
and get that information to us. I'm like, to get it.
Said it was going to.
Already talked about lifeguards.
More you want to talk about transfer? Just ask.
Me? No, I don't have any more. You have some?
So, no, I'm just going, so with recommending,
I'm sorry, I do have one thing.
okay, so with recommending, I mean, there's some different things that have been happening down there. Obviously, some damage was moving to your back camera and what costs might be associated with trying to get some cameras down there. But there's also been some different events down there that have been positive in the community, and like a nature walk and learning that Peter was instrumental in. And apparently, as my understanding, was about 36 different kids that took part in this and they really enjoyed it. There was a couple of nice letters that were received that complimented, not only Peter, but the fact that we had this event. Positive thing. Basketball program, sounds like more than 70 kids took part in it. It was also well received. The disc golf, I think, is operational at this point.
It is
And that's also being well received.
very popular.
So those are good things with the rec.
Are we getting any use out of pickleball courts? Because I know there's a big push for that at one point.
I'm gonna say yes, but I don't have a head count. I've been through there a few times and seen the activity there.
Right, I would agree with Councilmember Hogan on this one. The only issue with pickleball court though is the age of that blacktop, there's such huge cracks in it.
I looked at it, and, they filled where the pickleball courts were last time I was down there, and we had a lot of discussion, and we did do fill in the cracks.
No, it's just not. I think unfortunately some folks now we have pickleball courts in the area.
That's all seems to be very busy.
Would, you know, now the expectation is that we're gonna have nice flat courts, so it's not the fills and cracks. So something to think about for the future.
Budget item.
Sure.
Anything else on Rick? I did, want to just touch on the transfer station. The board had, because it was brought to us, had authorized roof replacement.
Yes.
Did that happen?
I talked to him this morning, he's coordinating it with building and ground. They figured out everything they need, they found some nails down there inside, and they found some stuff they don't have to buy, which is good. They can save the flashing around, so that's good, so they're doing everything they can to cut corners, and they're in the planning stage now. I said to them, I said, that roof's the same as it was last week when I come down there, so I got out there a little bit. I think we're gonna see that move forward pretty quick.
So we are to be clear, to cut costs, not cut corners, right?
Cut cost.
Okay.
Yeah, I got one more thing that was on the recreation and entertainment type thing, so I've been in contact this week with Joe Earl from the village and Mayor Bodkin, because that individual approached me and wanted to put on a concert down at the gazebo down there that they've done for other years. And he said, who would I get a hold of? So let me just get a hold of Joe and get a hold, because I know he'd done some work on it in the past in Bodkin. So I didn't do this as a town council person. I don't want you people think I'm here for all of it, but I talked to the mayor and I talked to Joe, and so we're gonna set that up. But I also talked to Joe about next year. I'd like to see us maybe get involved, maybe budget some, at budget time, because they're very popular, that series, the concert series that they have there for years. So I'm just gonna kind of poke around a little bit, and Joe's gonna talk with the Chamber of Commerce and see if we can get some money.
I'd love to have something like that, a record.
That's, you know what, that's what I talked to Mayor Bodkin about. I said, what I'd like to see is maybe schedule 8 of them and have 4 of them down to the rec, and 4 of them down to the village. See where we can get funds, like from the Chamber of Commerce and stuff, and try to coordinate something. And so I'm gonna keep poking around in there and see what I can find. And but this one is gonna happen, and it is gonna happen. It's gonna happen on the 21st of this month, down there from 6 to 10, or 6 to 8. The Marquettes are gonna play. Matter of fact, Dave McDonald's the one who got a hold of me and so who do I get a hold of? Well, let me just put some feelers out so we can do it. So we're gonna have one. We're gonna have one this year. Hopefully we can coordinate something and get that back on track for next year.
Great. Last item I have under rec, we had budgeted this year for a maintenance pole barn. So we could get our equipment, especially when we start buying new equipment, undercover, locked up, so that kids aren't climbing out, nobody's around. Do we know where that is in the process?
No, I don't, but I'm also concerned with the price longer. We're too far out now, but I will ask about that.
Even if we had a roof for this year, that we
Sure, like a pole barn or a roof on it, and
just to get stuff on the.
I will send out a message.
Okay, great. Anything else for committee reports?
Just a quick personnel committee, at this point, we've received staff, I'd say 20 or so, applications for our multiple clerk positions. So Alan and I will start peeling through those and start doing interviews to, maybe weed it down a little bit to those who are the most interested, and then we'll bring some recommendations back to the board.
Yeah, if, I would encourage all board members to take a look at the applications and, if there's somebody in there you feel meets the requirements or needs of the town, get it to personnel committee and, get them in for an interview. I mean, I'm happy to call a special meeting once we hone that down. if we have to, because I know, this is important, these are important positions. To go through that and get somebody on board, but that'd be great, so thanks for that. I do need an executive session to receive an update on the tax certiorari case, Liberty Boulevard. To discuss contract regarding town's zoning administrator. To also discuss the work history of unnamed town employee or employees. And also to receive an update on contract negotiations regarding the sale of 61 Hudson. And what I'd like to do is invite the town clerk in for the first portion of the executive session for the discussion on the employee or employee. Okay, so I have a motion. Second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
So at this point, we do executive session, privilege of the floor, it looks like it's scheduled for after executive session, after other business. So if we could actually just maybe sit out in the lobby and wait, that'd be the best.
Thank you.
All right, stop video and mute.
So.
It's back on, Ted.
Sorry. Forgot.
Perfect.
Okay.
Everybody here, you're all set?
Is he all set here?
Yeah, computer's going.
Okay.
Good to go.
That, okay.
So, we're out of executive session and I would like the record to reflect that no action was taken in executive session. And moving on to other business, we have a couple items. First one is in relation to the zoning administrator for the town, Jim Martin, who has a contract with the town that was signed July 23rd of 2020. And in that contract, there is language that authorizes the contract to be renewed for one additional year, as long as the town exercises the option within 60 days from the end of the original term. So the term just ended July 31st, so we're well within that window. So the town board is so inclined to entertain a motion authorizing the supervisor to sign the one-year extension agreement with the zoning administrator.
So, second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries unanimously.
Oh, the paperwork that we went out.
Nope, I left it on my desk.
Thank you, I got it here.
Did you want me to write that down?
Was that?
Did you need me to write something down for you?
I just need individuals' name.
Okay. You have it?
I haven't.
So, yes, so I'd like to announce that the town clerk for town of Monroe has appointed, I believe, Barbara Bartlett, effective, what day would you like?
Can we say effective immediately with,
So, effective,
I'm not sure,
effective, subject to,
Yeah.
successful completion, of the, we'd have to do a physical on it.
Yeah.
Actually, a professional.
Okay.
I'll be clear on that, subject to successful completion of the town's required, physical within the next 3 weeks. And her appointment date to be that at which the town clerk provides to the town board.
Okay.
Work?
Yep.
So,
And as part of that resolution, she will agree to do the zoning and plan board minutes for, she'll perform the duties of the zoning and planning board secretary for a minimum of a year, and she will be compensated as a full-time employee at an annual rate of $40,000. Work.
Yes, and the rate for the planning and zoning,
And the rate for planning and zoning board will be that which is provided for currently by the organizational meeting resolution.
okay.
so,
Second. Those are microphones down.
That's.
Motion and a second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously. So,
Thank you,
you're welcome.
all of you.
So that should give you leeway to do what you have to do to get the on board at the appropriate time. I don't have this agenda. Okay, at this time, agenda item 14, we're still on other business. Is there any other? If not, we move to agenda item 15, which is privilege of the floor. And remind the public that by resolution, members of the public have an opportunity to address the board with comment for a maximum of 3 minutes. And I will ask that the discussion be germane to town business with no characterizations regarding town personnel. So would anybody like to address the board? Yes. Please state your name and address for the record.
I'm Erin Cromley. I live at 126 Lindley Acres. And I'm sure everybody is aware of what took place on Route 9 yesterday with the accident that took out the power lines and all of that stuff and closed Route 9. And I realize Route 9 is a state road, and I realize that National Grid is responsible for all the work and all of that stuff. But I wondered if there was something that the town could do to advocate for the people who live in the affected area when something like that happens, which unfortunately is pretty frequently. Those telephone poles get hit regularly and we lose power and the road is closed to more or less extent. The road was completely closed at 197 and Butler. Nobody could go in, or you could get out, but you couldn't get in. So we had elderly people with no refrigeration, with no air conditioning. It was hot out. People couldn't get to them to check on them. Many people have phones that require electricity, so they couldn't call out. It was very unclear what people were supposed to do. I left in the morning to help a relative outside the park. I couldn't get back. I tried a couple of times to get back. I ended up going to my office in Lake George because I was like, well, I can't work from my house. I can't even get to my house. So I went to Lake George and then I got a notification the power was back on. And I was like, oh, the road must be clear. I waited 3 more hours and then I tried to go home and I couldn't get home. I was like, okay, well, I'm not a rule breaker. I am not a law breaker, but I am about to drive around this barricade because I need to get to my house at this point. I can't be like an exile forever. So that's the scenario, and like I said, I know it's not your responsibility, but I hope that there's something that we could do. Maybe we could have had the town crew come out and help with steering traffic or make signs available so that people would know that local traffic would go through. Make a car opening so that a car would go through instead of driving on the side of the other side of the road. It was chaotic, it was like 12 hours long, so. That's all I have to say, just.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Would anybody else like to address the board?
Hi, my name is Angela Wadsworth. As you all well aware of me, I'm not here to repeat myself. I'm here to be a reminder of the damages that was caused to my property by town officials. Todd? Number one, I'd like to ask, Carla can't be an attorney on a certain area. She got pulled because of a conflict of interest. Is that what you stated earlier tonight? Carla got pulled from handling the matter of the town because it was a conflict of interest. Correct?
Angela, this is your time for comment.
Okay, how come she wasn't pulled when there was a conflict of interest with me and the law firm? Ellen Rose was representing me. I was denied due process by having a town attorney there during my time of the zoning board of appeals. I was denied having a town attorney there. Also, I'm kind of upset with the way you've been acting towards me, Mr. Kushner. When I call you up to say, hey, the kind of job house you let me build next to me with the wrong surveyor, you took a surveyor's opinion, not a taxpayer's, rights of what they knew. They didn't do a proper survey, Todd, you know it and I know it. So why wasn't the documents in this town building, the dimensions on that property, to where it's legit, it's truthful? Because a realtor uses that survey. Plus, what's really upsetting is I want it to be brought on the agenda so I can warn the taxpayers on how some town officials like to alter tax maps. Again, those tax maps are used through planning board, zoning board, courtroom, police department, other attorneys, attorney general. So my question to you is, how come you're not up there with that independent code enforcement, like you promised me going over that property? You promised me many times, and I have not seen a code enforcement up there. This is illegal. You don't put power lines, can they see it?
Please invest the board.
Power lines, live power lines, 100 width down a property without no protection. I have grandchildren. In other words, water runoff. You just gave a farmer a good, healthy,
Yes.
settlement because of salt runoff. I had water runoff across my driveway that I'm landlocked on using the property that I spent over $100,000 in court to fight. And the thing is, the house should never been here. But you, as rudely as you are, sit up here and judge
Thank you
people.
for your time.
No,
Your
you
time
don't
is up.
listen to my
I
time,
understand
Mr.
your
Kirschner.
wishes
See,
to adjourn the board.
I'm asking everybody, where's the ethic board? Where's the ethic board?
Motion to
Where
adjourn.
is the ethic board?
All in favor?
Where's the, see, that's right. Kyle, you were at my house, all of a sudden you flipped.
We are adjourned.
Now you're not willing to
Thank
help
you
me
very
out.
much.